First of all, as a politician, I first say thank you. This is a free forum to meet lawyers, both from Okil and GAF, to just say thank you for the overwhelming support that I got to get to this position. It's because of you that I stand here today, so I'm grateful. I want to also take this opportunity to mention also the Makadara incident. Seeing judges like Justice Alwach here today, she was able to serve her term to fruition because there was some level of security. Today we see a bevy of advocates who stand for the rule of law and justice, and they place themselves on the line of fire. Yesterday it was a magistrate, before we had the Willie Kimanis, and we have lost even other advocates standing in the line of justice. I just hope that we take this seriously, and I'll pick it up with the Chief Justice, and that also as executive, may they support to ensure that those who are placing themselves on the line of fire to support the members of the public are well protected. Now, today is the opportunity for us to hear from you on the opportunities for us coming in as advocates. I was listening to both the SG and the CS for education, and there are challenges that are also raised to you, even as you say, opportunities for the Nyanza investment. I heard the head of state saying that electricity at Naivasha has been reduced for factories. Why can't we have the same for Nyanza region, so that we can ensure that factories can actually open? When we're talking about the challenge of FDI being 1.7%, I would say there are certain things that even as the executive we need to look into. Certainty in taxation in our country, the cost of production, and also encouraging SMEs in the region. While this is a good initiative, I thank you, CS, because you're trying to encourage investment in the nation. But even as you encourage our advocates, I stand as the chair of LSK that I demand that even as you're telling us to work on these areas of promoting compliance, drafting and negotiation of contracts, dispute resolution, let's have these things happen in Kenya. Instead of agreeing that the seat to be in English courts, let the seat of arbitration be in Kenya. Let the law to be applied not be English law, particularly in the PPPs that we are signing. Let the law to be applied be Kenyan law. That is the only way that you can assure that advocates in Kenya will get the work, that at the end of the day, even that amount of money will flow within the confines of this nation, that we develop capacities. I'm sure the advocates that are present here are attestation to their support, but as well as they sit here to also listen on how can they plug in, how can they support. We have here experts in commercial transactions, legal infrastructure and policies, in land law, and also some have taught us along the way, so we stand here because of them. And so the Office of the Attorney General, the Ministry of Trade, Education, ICT as well, you have a challenge to ensure that even as you negotiate these policies, why can't there be a slot for LSK advocates? Recently, there was a visit to the US. How many slots were set up for the Law Society of Kenya? We also have to be fair to the advocates in this region. If you're not also promoting local, then there's no opportunities to grow local. And whenever there are avenues and you're meeting investors, I saw you had a very nice investment meeting with the ambassadors, asking them to bring in investors. Bring in advocates as well. That's the only way that we can start seeing advocates also giving back. Because in the Ministry of Trade, you're negotiating so many contracts, but we're not seeing more opportunities for advocates to be in those meetings, that they guide you as well. And here in the room is a small representation of experts in these different areas. And so if you just tap in, SC will tell you. And part of the challenges that I'll be saying in that senior counsels should ensure that no international contracts are going to the Whiting case and not on Roses. As senior counsels, you should push and ensure they stay in this jurisdiction. That's the only way that we can see a fruition and growth. We have quite a large number of young lawyers in this region. However, we have quite also a number of seniors. I stand here also by virtue of great mentors. Rachir has been and absolute support. Professor Dote, Eric Gumbo, who I worked with him in my nascent young years. And so I also encourage even the advocates in this room today that there are a number of young lawyers who are looking up to you. And I think you ought to take the challenge and you must mentor. Senior counsel, today you're the only one here that I can hammer on. So unfortunate for you, we're also saying that even as you sit to support this investment, if you get a brief, take 2 or 3 young lawyers who are not in your family. And CS, I think the opportunities are quite a lot. So when I was sitting there, I was hoping I would hear the chairs of the different groups saying that they want this number of opportunities for themselves and their bevy of advocates in PPPs, in dispute resolution, in contract negotiation, and also to say that whenever there is a convoy leaving the country, that each of them will get this number of slots. I've not heard them saying that. So me, I will stand on behalf of all advocates of Kenya saying, at least ensure there's a slot of 5 advocates every time there's a delegation. Ken will kill me if I don't say that Ken and CCI are a strategic partner in this investment that is here today. But as I sit down, I thank you, CS, for this opportunity, and I hope to see more. The Law Society will continue to hold government accountable. Unfortunately, that's the role we play. But at the same time, our role is to advise government. And in that advisory, here is a good representation of those who are able and capable of taking up that position. I may be standing on the side of accountability, but they can stand on the side of supporting, working together with you and seeing the growth of the kind of investments that come to this country, but also the opportunities that can grow and nascent in this nation. Asante.